All right. Hi. All right. So you'll get to see who's on here, and then they'll chat over there with us.
Okay, cool.
So hi, everybody. We'll wait just a couple minutes to see who hops on, but this is my friend Anne.
Hello.
And Anne, why don't you tell everyone about yourself and your business and what we're going to talk about today?
Sure. Okay, so my name is Anne Beverly. I work as a counselor in residence in McLean, Virginia. I own my own private practice where I deliver therapy. I specialize in empowering women. It's Bluebird Counseling Center, and you can find us at bluebirdcounselingcenter.com if you want any more information.
And what's your specialty?
So women's empowerment issues. Right now, it seems to be kind of a lot of women who are looking at the possibility of divorce. I'm seeing couples. And then I see women who are sort of having like failure to launch type issues. Like I still live in my parents' basement and I want to do X, Y, and Z with my life, but I'm having a lot of mental health challenges in getting there. So I help women overcome those challenges. And
don't we all have challenges?
Of course.
I mean, the reality is we all do.
Sure.
Everybody has some challenge.
Oh, yeah. No.
Everywhere.
When I was opening my private practice, I was like, who am I? Who am I to be opening, or like when I write blog posts, I'm like, who am I to be authoring this thing, giving advice to women when I've struggled so much myself, which, it's just like the nature of being a woman, I think, in America.
But it makes it more real. It makes it more authentic. I think once you've been through it, it makes it easier to help people.
Yeah.
Because you're like, you're bringing that actual perspective of going through it versus just hypothetically giving a situation that might or might not work.
Sure.
You're not giving that perspective of, oh, I wish I would have done this, or in hindsight, I would have done this, or I'm really glad I did it this way.
Well, and sometimes I'll be like, describing sort of like an ideal, and it's probably like what I wish I would have done too, but maybe didn't, or maybe did, I don't know. But I'm like, well, wouldn't it be nice if blah, 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 and I describe some kind of ideal situation. And then they're like, oh, I never thought about it like that. Or, so even if I haven't had like a perfect, 10 with all my empowerment issues, I still can, see where their roadblocks might be overcome by certain things.
Is there someone judging us on giving us perfect 10s? Or is that just in our heads? Because if so, I wonder who that is.
I don't know, Mom. Is there? No, just kidding.
It is our mothers, isn't it? I think that's who it is. Well, speaking of our mothers, do you want to talk about, I know that was kind of on your list of what we were going to talk about today, of maybe expectations and all of that kind of stuff. So why don't you just get started? And if you guys have any questions for either of us, just throw them in the chat. And as we get to a natural break in whatever we're talking about, we will go through and make sure we answer the questions. And by the end of the live video here, we'll make sure we go through and answer everyone's questions with the time allotted. So we are here to answer your questions, and we're here to help get your mind right for your reselling business, for any roadblocks you're having to make more money, to just get started, to have a side hustle, to take that next step to either get started, to maybe grow to the next level, to quit your job, careers, and some things that Anne, as a trained person, can guide you through as well. So, all right, I'm going to hand the baton over to you, because otherwise I will talk the entire time.
Well, one thing I really wanted to talk about was something that I've been seeing as a pattern of the type of women who walk into my practice. Many will say things like, I want to go back to school and become a teacher. I want to start my own business. I want to X, Y, or Z, whatever that goal is. It's usually big and lofty and life-changing. And it just, as soon as they say it, the next sentence out of their mouth is something like, but I'm not that type of girl, or I'm not that type of woman. And it's sort of like this old, outdated way of looking at things, this old narrative that probably started with their family, right? Let's be honest. That's what we all have as a frame of reference is our families. And they will shut it down just as quickly as they said their goal. So they'll kind of have this like, I would love to go and train to be a yoga teacher. I would love to do that. And then their face changes, but I'm not that type of girl, you know? And so it's like, wait, go back. You were smiling and bubbly and your body language said all these amazing positive things. And then, you know, but my family says I can't do it is really the message that I'm hearing. So, you know, we'll do session after session after session about why they actually are that type of woman. That what if nobody took any risks? You know, what if Rebecca never became a reseller? You know, she wouldn't have been able to pay off all the medical bills and everything else. So these businesses that women start, whether they're, you know, brick and mortar business or multi-level marketing or reselling or whatever it is, they really are improving the quality of women's lives and their families' lives. But what's the biggest roadblock is that old narrative of, I can't do it. Women aren't supposed to do it. This isn't who I was born and bred to be. So therefore, I'm just, you know, I'm not going to pursue anything. And it's such a shame because really, you know, women have all these big dreams and lofty goals. But for whatever reason, they just seem to be really stuck in whatever their families deemed correct or incorrect.
Now you say families, it could also be like husbands and partners too, right? So it doesn't, it's not always maybe ingrained from childhood. It's maybe what you have developed as far as a relationship with someone, or you've now become a parent and you have decided that maybe, you know, your role is strictly as a parent and you should not be focusing on anything outside of that parental role or the wife role or the partner role. And so how do you change not only your own mindset, but how do you get it out of your mind that maybe your partner won't be supportive is what I'm trying to say. Or that you get out of this mentality of this traditional mindset of this is what I should be doing.
Well, I start with a bunch of visualization activities. Like, so I'll say like, okay, if this was our 20th session instead of our first session, how would you want your life to be different? How would you think? How would you feel? How would you sit in this chair right now? How would you, you know, change as a person? And they really can do that whole mind's eye activity where they're like, you know, I would sit upright. I would sit with my shoulders back. I would have the confidence to, you know, look people in the eye when I'm talking to them. So we go through all these little changes that would occur, and then they can kind of start to shift the paradigm of, I'm just, you know, or I don't want to say just a mom because I know that is the hardest job in the world. So I'm not going to say that
Maybe only a mom.
Yeah. I'm a wife and a partner, but I'm not a business owner.
Right.
Well, the truth is you can have all of those things. So if you could shift your mindset to say, okay, you know, I love my children more than anything, but in order to be the best mom I can be, I have to take care of myself. Part of taking care of myself is that I'm going to start this business and I'm going to show my children through example of what it means to be a strong woman who helps provide for the family, right? And there are pros and cons to both of those ways of doing business. Of course, you know, if you don't start the business, maybe you do have more time to be a mommy or whatever. And there are pros and cons going that route, but there are also a lot of pros and maybe some cons too of starting that business. So we kind of go through both paths. Okay. So if this was, you know, 10 years from now, what path is going to feel like more authentically you? And then, you know, once the shift happens, usually women really know their partners and they can kind of start making those small suggestions that maybe this is something that they would want to do. And on average, I would say, I can't speak for everybody, but usually the partners are way more supportive than the women believe that their partners would be.
That's interesting.
Yeah, really. I think that we put our own roadblocks on ourselves, and then we're like, oh, my husband would never go for it. And really, for some women, that has just been an excuse not to start whatever it is. Because when they were faced with it, the husbands were like, absolutely, what do you need? You need a webcam? I'll buy you whatever it is. So I think that, while you think you may know your partner, sometimes the opposite is true, that actually the partners are really very supportive.
And with the reselling business too, there's a lot of stay-at-home moms, a lot of a lot of parents that involve their children in their business. So like for Poshmark, there's a lot of parents that have kids sharing their Poshmark closets or helping them take pictures or, helping them helping with shipping, and they make it into a family type of business per se, and maybe they get like $1 per item that's sold or something like that. They can learn so it's an opportunity to teach them,
which is great,
responsibility and business and different things like that too. So you don't have to, if that's something that you're worried about, I know that there's opportunities there to also teach children that there are, not only can your parents do other things, that mom can do stuff too, but that you can be involved and help mommy and do all this other stuff too, and learn as you guys are growing. And maybe even, I know there's some parents out there who have teenagers that like started cleaning out their closets.
Oh yeah.
And selling their clothes and shoes and bought their own prom dresses or their own whatever,
Isn't that heartwarming?
So you got to look at it from different opportunity levels and open your mind to different realms of possibilities.
Sure.
I think.
Yeah, absolutely. If you've ever watched Chip and Joanna Gaines, they always have their children helping out with
don't they have 8 of them?
Yeah, I don't know how many they have by now.
Maybe 6.
But it shows that money doesn't grow on trees.
Right.
And
theirs actually does. Doesn't that shiplap a tree? Shiplap is actually a tree. So I think their money actually is from trees.
It goes on shiplap. Yeah. I always think that, kids do need to learn hard work, and the fact that, we sell this many and you could teach math.
And they have these roadblocks, or they've started it, but they just can't you have the idea, maybe you bought some equipment and you're just kind of
you just can't get started.
Can't get the momentum going. Yeah. So how do you what's the next step that people take or that they can take?
Well, I know one of the questions that we got was how do you keep at it when it's just not going your way?
Yeah.
And I think that just recognizing that as part of the process. In India, they have a saying about how everything has to kind of fall apart before you can rebuild and have a rebirth. And sometimes it's kind of like that, especially when you start a business. I only had one client when I started my business. I knew I was going to lose money for a couple months. I just knew that was part of it. And so if you can kind of accept it as part of the process and realize I'm just in stage 1 right now, you really do have to be super patient, that you're not going to make $1 billion right away.
Right.
And I think that people on Instagram and social media, they lie to us all the time. I started selling Beachbody and I made $1 million in a year and blah, blah, blah. And it's just that's just not how it is. It's just not true.
Well, that's why when I do my income reports, I always feel like I'm the poor lady doing income reports, because I'm I made $1,200 this month. Then you'll see other people and they're like, I made $50,000 this month on Amazon. And I'm I sold 10 things on, but I want to show a realistic view of what it's like to sell and break it down into what I actually sold. Yeah. Because I think that gives people a more realistic ideal of what I'm actually selling and what's selling versus this grand ideal of I'm selling all of these things, because I think it looks like sometimes, especially on Instagram for reselling, at least people will post these pictures of a bajillion boxes. We have no idea if they're $10 items or $100 items. Right. Most certainly I would rather have 10 boxes of $100 items in there than have 100 boxes of $7 items. I just, to me, you never know what people are actually sharing. Right. So it's in the day of social media, it's very hard to not want to like, and it's not even keeping up with the Joneses now. It's keeping up with all of these people on social media.
Well, what's great about what you're doing is that people can trust when you do have a really amazing month.
Right.
They can be like, that is real.
Right.
Because I've seen her have $1,000 month before too. Yeah. And so, so it shows the progression in a very way that's like tangible to other people. It's not just lying and saying, you know, oh, I made 50 grand and you don't count the $40,000 you spent on inventory, right? I mean, revenue and profit are very different things, and people get them conveniently confused all the time. Oh, yeah. So yeah, I think that builds a huge level of trust, though, when you are really transparent with your actual numbers. And so don't get caught up in, I call it compare-itis. You're comparing all these things, and people do this, especially with like I'm not pretty enough kind of narrative in their head. Mm-hmm. Well, people have like plastic surgery and, you know, face full of veneers.
I just read something about veneers.
All of those things, right? So, and then they can doctor the pictures on top of having all of the work done. So, you know, there really are like an infinite number of ways to alter your appearance, but we see these perfect images on social media and we think that, you know, oh, look at me. I'm breaking out and you know, all these things when, you know, maybe you just haven't had the 14 people team to put it all together. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I deal with people working with like self-esteem kind of issues all the time that are constantly comparing themselves aesthetically, but also like I'm not good enough because I don't travel to Italy every 2 weeks like my friend, you know, or whatever. And
I don't have that problem.
Yeah. A lot of people do that. The compare-itis, I think, especially in business.
Yeah.
Is like,
well, and that's what I was going to ask you is, you know, for me, it's more like on social media, especially, and I know there's a lot of people that are watching that follow me on Instagram because that's where I promote, you know, this channel.
Yeah.
But and even I get this, it's like there's a constant anxiety that's provoked on Instagram that you're not doing enough.
Sure.
It's like you're not working hard enough, you're not hustling hard enough, you're not buying enough, you're not thrifting enough, you're not selling enough. It's this constant barrage of just this attitude of work harder, thrift harder, go hard, go home, go, you know, and it's like, I really like to be at home. So that doesn't really work out for me. So, you know, go hard or go home is like, well, I'll just be at home. But,
this is the one message I really hate about Rachel Hollis. And I love the Girl Wash Your Face book. And she has a new one, Girl Stop Apologizing. Great. But she is like, you don't want to do it, you get up there and you do it. Like, you don't want to work out, I'm going to put my shoes on, I'm going, you better go too. Like, she's like a taskmaster about it. And I just am like.
See, I'd be like, bye. I don't respond to that at all.
It's just not balanced is the thing. And there is always more to do. Could I work on promoting my practice, you know, 57,000 hours in a week? I could do it every second of every day. What I need, though, in my life is to have a balance that I do some marketing and I do therapy and I do my, you know, billing or whatever. But I also like get manicures and go out to dinner with my husband and make time for self-care. And that's the one thing I really hate about people like Rachel Hollis. I even heard this term that's like work porn. Like work porn is like hustle your butt off like every second of every day. Like there's more you could be doing, you know?
And it's really hard. It's really hard for me because I used to be like that.
Yeah.
Like I am internally and in my brain, I'm very type A.
Yeah.
Like my natural instinct is very type A, like very get all the work done, do everything. And since I've been sick, it's very hard for me to do that. I just can't do that. And so for a long time, I've had to adjust. And Erin and I have this constant dialogue of you can't go all day, every day.
Right.
And then I go on Instagram and it's this message of work harder, do more, do this. And so I am getting this visual message of work harder, right?
Yeah,
I see all these quotes about do more.
The work porn. Yeah.
And my mind is like, you used to do it all. Like you want to do it all. And my brain's like, go do it, go do it, go do it. Mm-hmm. My body's like, no.
Yeah.
Not today, sister. And so it's this all day. And I know there's a lot of people that follow me that are in similar shoes, whether it's their health or their children or whatever the case may be. But how do you find that balance, especially when you work at home? Because, it's so hard to be here all day. You do work all day if you want to.
Well,
how do you find that balance?
I think it's really natural when we're in our 20s to have that like hustle 24/7 kind of mentality, because we do have the type of bodies that can keep up with that when we're in our 20s. So if it feels good and natural to you to do that, and you get a lot out of working, God bless, do whatever feels good.
Right.
But if you have a roadblock that you need to attend to, such as a chronic illness or children or other things, then it's your responsibility to find the balance. And it's that turning off all of those external voices, all this work porn that we're seeing, these people that claim that they work, 80 hours a week. I don't think that that's even true. Like, I would look at a critical eye and say, what's right for me? Mm-hmm. Even if that person does work 80 hours a week, great. But, what do I need to feel fulfilled? Maybe that is a 40-hour work week. And when it's done, it's done. I don't take it home. I don't talk to my spouse all night about work. I can compartmentalize. That's a skill that comes over time.
But what if you're always at home?
Well, then, you still have a certain area where you do your work, and you leave that space, you shut the door or whatever, it feels good. You put a blanket over your computer if that's what you need to do, and you are done. That doesn't mean then you get on your phone and start working on your phone. That means that you are aware of what you need and you're going to honor it. If you don't honor it, there's no sense in even just work all day, every day.
Yeah.
But finding that balance is really tough, but it does come over time if you pay attention to what you need as a person.
Do you think that my husband does this Pomodoro technique? Where it's like you work for 20 minutes and you work like 20 minutes on and 20 minutes off. But if you find some kind of method like that, where it's like you work a certain amount of time, then you take a break, like you walk around or you do something, or maybe you actually, what I found is that I wasn't actually working as much as I thought I was working. Like I started timing. Like I would write down, okay, I was doing this from this, but I found myself actually doing laundry and walking the dogs. And so it was like, I really wasn't doing as much work as I thought I was doing while I was at home. I was like vacuuming or like organizing my office. Like I wasn't actually doing work. And so once I started journaling my time and that helped me a lot, actually be able to do my work.
I'm having such a reaction because all the things that you listed, doing laundry, walking the dogs, all these other things that you listed, they are all work.
Well, yeah, but they're not on my business.
I get that they're not on your business, but do you see that they're also work? You didn't say, I goof off and I watch TV.
Well, I do that too.
Sometimes we all do.
I mean, we all. Well,
but you're like, I was doing, the dishes. I was doing laundry. I was, taking care of an appliance that broke or whatever. You do a lot of work, whether that is on your business or work that you have to do within your home. It's all still work. So to say I'm not working is not accurate, because
you got to do that other stuff anyway.
Yeah, but you're taking a load off of Aaron. You are getting stuff done around the house. All of that is still work. You're not going and, just getting your nails done. You're taking care of the home, which is also still work. And I think that's a real mind shift for women in particular who do work from home, who are like, I'm not doing enough for my business because I'm doing laundry all day, or I'm packing lunches, or I'm going to the bus stop. All of that stuff is work.
Life
it's
therapy
all
right here.
Work. So you are working
about it like that.
From sun up to sundown whether it's work that's within the home or it's work on your business, it's all still work. It's work that your husband doesn't have to do, that takes care of your fur babies, that takes care of the home. So to say that, you're not doing work that's not accurate.
Like mentally, just in my mind, it's not something that I associate because I don't get paid to do that.
But you're not hiring a dog walker to walk your dogs,
right?
Because you're doing it,
right?
So on your family's bottom line, because you don't have to outsource that chore now, it does end up paying you.
Oh, I see.
In a way. I know that's maybe not a common way to think of it.
No, I understand that.
But it's a huge task to, put the leashes on the dogs, go around the neighborhood. That would cost you $20 to pay somebody to do it.
Well, especially since it's still physically taxing for me and my health. Like still doing all of that stuff is still me doing something physically, which is not like resting.
And laundry is incredibly taxing. Yeah. After I fold, maybe 2 loads of laundry, I'm sore the next day.
Yeah.
So, imagine if you had to pay somebody to do that.
No, I'd rather pay someone to do
Or if you're watching your kids, imagine if you paid a babysitter all day. It'd be a lot of freaking money.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah, but the women who stay home with their children, they don't look at that as valuable.
They're heroes.
I agree.
All right. What else is on our list?
All right. One question that I loved was, can I still do a reselling business if I have mental health issues? And yeah, I don't know. Can you, Rebecca?
let me get out my jar of those.
Yeah. So,
who wants to go have a panic attack with me and Marshall's next time? Right here. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I have no problem talking about it at all whatsoever.
That's awesome. And I think
that's so important.
That's why you have you have over 1 million YouTube views.
Well, it's so important.
People want to know the real you.
I mean, the other day I was in like the dog aisle at Marshall's, like for no reason. I was just like, I gotta get out of here. No, I know, but it wasn't like nothing came up.
Yeah,
it was just like
a stressful situation.
There were just a lot of people in there. You need to get out of there. Yeah. And I made Aaron drive us home.
And you took care of it. Took care of business. Mm-hmm. But there's nothing that says that you can't do your business the other hours that you're not caring for.
Every time I get an email on eBay, I get an anxiety attack. I just always think it's someone that's like, you're a horrible person. Your item smelled like a poop ball and you're terrible. They're never like that. But in my mind, they're always going to be like that. You know why?
You need to take some deep breaths.
Do you know why they're like that? Because I see it on Instagram all the time. People post all the bad emails that people write to them on Instagram. And then I see them.
When you see that, you need to take a deep breath and you need to say, that is not my story.
Oh, okay.
That is not my story.
Okay.
My friend was pregnant and everybody wanted to tell her all of their stories about miscarriage for whatever reason.
Oh, that's awful.
So she would stop them mid-sentence and she would say, this is not my story. And then she would have them go on with whatever their story was. She was protecting her baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. But every time I see my business failed or this or that, I always take a minute to say, that is not my story. That is not my story.
I like that.
Put up the boundary. And then you can still take in the information. It's not like you don't want to hear the story. Maybe she has some, warning of some magic thing that helped her with miscarriage or whatever. But just putting that boundary up and saying, this is not me.
Because I hardly get those emails.
Right.
But when I get the ding, it's like, my heart flutters.
So take a deep breath.
Okay.
Whatever it is. Or turn off the ding. Can you turn off the ding? I know it's hard.
Well, yeah, but then I don't hear the cha-ching when I get paid.
So if the ding equals the cha-ching.
Well, they're notifications.
Sure.
So
no, I understand. Sometimes, if you were really
having a hard day, people buy your stuff.
But if you're having a really hard day,
yeah, that's true. I can do that.
You could turn off the ding, and then then you would really know that you're not going to have that kind of.
That's true.
But the breathing really helps. If you meditated every day, you probably wouldn't have that. Just saying. I don't meditate every day. That's just do as I say, not as I do.
Okay. All right. So wait, we didn't really. Yes, you can do reselling with this issue.
You can do whatever you want, even though you have mental health issues.
You just have to make it work for you.
Yeah.
And that's with anything, really. And can you guys hear the
dog is like dead to the world over here.
He's snoring in his cubicle.
Baby. Oh my gosh.
But you can do anything with anxiety.
Yeah.
You can do anything with depression. You just have to learn how to make it work on your terms. And I'm a firm believer of having some kind of support, whether it's friends or a therapist, or like I have a psychiatrist or a doctor. You have to have some kind of someone.
Have a team. Yeah. Whatever your team consists of is perfectly fine. That can be a manicurist, a hairstylist, the people that do your brows, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm just naming beauty people, but you can make a team out of, your family. Whoever is there for you is going to be the best resource for you to, confide in, process your feelings. But really, you can do anything you want to do, even if you have, anxiety and depression. If it really gets bad, I would always say, like, find a professional. If you find a therapist, that therapist can help you find somebody to manage medication or whatever you need. But it starts with you. If you don't ask for it, if you don't advocate for yourself and what you need, you're probably not going to feel any better. So that would be my main takeaway, is just to advocate for yourself. You need to get it out there that you are in need, because unless you do that, nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to Prozac's not going to rain down from the ceiling. So you have to make it a priority.
What about Xanax? Does that rain down from the ceiling?
Maybe in certain circles it does. I'm not sure.
Can you introduce me to those people? That'd be great. And then what about, I know we got a question specifically about social anxiety, and I'm assuming that means like going out to thrift or going out to network and to meet people and that kind of stuff. So I don't have social anxiety. I just have good old fashioned regular anxiety. I'm very extroverted.
Non-social thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I would say to somebody who really struggles with this is to do self-care both before and after an outing. So kind of prepare yourself, know that you're only going to stay 20 minutes, and then have something to look forward to afterwards, something that feels good to you. So if you, really want to go to a networking event, maybe you take, a long hot shower in the morning, you have your tea, you don't have a rushed morning, you don't have extra anxiety. You go to the event knowing that you're only going to stay a certain amount of time, and then you're going to give yourself permission to get out of there if it feels like your anxiety is getting too much, even if that's before the 20-minute mark. So you put in a bunch of ways of taking care of yourself and sort of these supports, I guess, into your activity. And then, go home to something that you love. If you love knitting, tell yourself you can knit, all night, or you can do whatever. But it's the same way that you're doing work. You really are doing a lot of work in the networking because it's really hard for you. So look at it as work. I just have this bit of work that I have to do today. And then once I do, I can have, X, Y. It's work to some people and not to others. Some people really look forward to networking activities, right? It's like some people are like, oh, I can't wait to go. And then other people are like dreading it. So if you're one of the people that's dreading it, then put some rewards in there for yourself for actually doing it and accomplishing your goal.
So there's this really big thrift store that I go to that I kind of hate going because people are just rude. They ram their carts into you. They'll snatch stuff out of your hands.
Really?
Yeah. And it does give me a little bit of anxiety. I just started wearing headphones there.
Oh my God, what a great idea. I love
and that. Then I don't have to, I just live in my own. Sometimes I don't even turn on music. They're just noise canceling.
Nobody's going to snatch them off your head.
Well, I don't know. They better not because they're nice. But you can wear whatever ones you want. But they're just noise canceling headphones. So I can just kind of be at peace with myself in there. And then if they're screaming children or they're running wherever, whatever's happening in the store, I don't have to, it doesn't affect me. So I can just do my own thing. And the women all know me in there now. So I'm the lady with the headphones. And I just kind of go in and I go at my own pace. And I actually find that I source a lot more
efficiently.
Yeah. Well, like thoughtful. Okay, like I actually like, instead of being in there and like trying to get out of the store because I just can't stand being in there for that long, I'm actually like spend time like looking through the racks and I find better stuff.
That's a powerful insight. Yeah, you know that about yourself.
Because I can actually spend time in there now to look and search for stuff versus like flying through the racks just so I can get in and out of there.
Yeah.
It's really helped my sourcing to be able to just find that moment of zen in there and be able to look for stuff versus wanting to run out of there with my hair on fire. like getting out of there as fast as possible.
Yeah.
It has been a game changer.
I feel like that's such a great insight about yourself, that you had an increase in anxiety in this one particular place and you found a strategy that works for you. It's like you adapted to the situation. And I wish people would do that more often, honestly.
Like the smaller stores don't seem to bother me, but the big stores that have like the big sales and there's constantly people in there and they're just shoving stuff in their carts, like I can't.
Yeah.
Like that's really hard for me.
Yeah. No, I think that's really hard for a lot of people. So anything that you can do, like the headphone idea, I mean, there's no opportunity cost to it. I mean, you have the headphones anyway. You could also just take a pair that plugs in and just take the cord out. You know, nobody needs to know that they don't actually work.
You just want to make sure you can't hear anything. I mean, the point of them is to make sure. So,
and nobody's going to come up to you and talk to you or snatch stuff out of your hands because you are not really available.
Right.
You are like, you know, I'm listening to other stuff. You don't have to be listening to anything, of course. But I think that's great that you found something that works for you.
Yeah, and you also don't have to make eye contact with people so they don't like follow you around and talk to you.
They assume you're in a different world. They assume you are not available for conversation.
That's wonderful.
That's great.
All right. What else do we got? You guys have any questions so far? We've been hammering on for like 35 minutes.
Is this on?
Yeah. Okay. I hope so, because they would have been like, we can't hear you.
Oh.
And we have about 60 people on. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's like ask a therapist time.
Ask a therapist.
I'd be happy to answer whatever you got. One thing was, I'm just referencing a notepad over here, how to keep going even if there's like failure, which again is just part of the process. I think we talked about kind of accepting that it's not going to be amazing right off the bat. And just knowing like that is kind of stage one. Is failing.
But I think the way that you prepare for that is you prepare to fail.
Yeah.
So knowing that, and I see this a lot, especially with reselling, is I'll see people that are like, I quit my job. I'm going to resell full time. And they have no savings. They have no idea how they're going to do health insurance. They have no backup plan. And then 6 months later, I see them like, well, I'm going back to work.
Well, yeah.
You know, so to me, you minimize failure in the beginning by planning for that jump. So, you know, you got to know, okay, I need to have, if I'm going to take home myself $5,000 a month to pay all my bills, I maybe need to sell $15,000, $16,000 a month in sales. Well, how do I get there? Right now, I'm only selling $5,000 a month. You know, so there's some math that needs to be done. There's some planning I think that needs to be done. Some savings. That's one of the biggest mistakes I made when I opened my gym was that I did not plan for the slow summer. I had no idea that summer was going to be super slow, and it really messed up my cash flow and my business. So that's something that I, looking back now, really regret it. Like not having some kind of system to know that
you can't always foresee all of that stuff too.
But I could have had some money in the bank.
Right. Well, that's what I was saying. Yeah. Plan to fail a little bit, or at least have some kind of support network or support, money that is there when things are slow. Cause it's great to have an upward trajectory every month, making more and more and more and more, but you are going to have some down months. That's just the nature of business in general. So, having, mitigating any kind of risk that you can, I think is great, so that you don't get really stressed out. And then, that's how a lot of people end up quitting, is that they just get too overwhelmed because they had a slow month. And I have felt that myself. There are months that are really big for therapy, like leading up to the holidays. Everybody wants to come in because the holidays are super stressful. But then Martin Luther King hits. Everybody's trying to get their taxes done. Everybody's like, oh, it's just too cold. It's right. It's really cold. It was
a polar vortex.
Crazy cold here, like 2 weeks ago. Now it's, like really
40s,
nuts kind of weather. But that throws people off. Like, they're like, oh, it's, negative 20. I have a client that walks to me. Like, he doesn't want to walk if it's negative, whatever degrees out. So, I had a lot of cancellations. And what's hard is that it feels personal.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm not good enough. Nobody wants to come and see me. Maybe I'm too expensive. Maybe I'm this. And I think you just got to write it out.
Yeah.
You've got to write it out, because that tide will turn again. April is the highest month for suicides, unfortunately. So I know that in April, I probably will see like a giant influx of people coming in with more depressive symptoms. And not exactly sure why that is, but statistically that's true. I wanted to talk about, what do you do when you feel really guilty because your partner makes a lot more money than you do? Which is the case for me. And
me.
Yeah. So let's just get real about that. That happens. That's a real thing.
And it doesn't matter if it's a husband or a wife, just your partner.
Yeah.
Whoever.
When there's an inequity in the relationship and you're like, oh, you're bringing home this, I'm bringing home this. Now I feel guilty anytime I spend money because it's your money that I'm spending. It's not my money. Or you're paying the mortgage and I live in this house, but I don't contribute. Oh my gosh. Like, is that okay? And part of it is just the nature of being in a relationship, is that you're actually supposed to depend upon each other in different ways. So the way that your partner depends on you might be different than the way you depend upon your partner. What you need to realize is that you guys are really intermeshed. Like, our partners actually regulate our heart rate. They regulate our blood pressure. When they come around, your body systematically changes to accommodate your partner who entered the room or entered the home. You are completely enmeshed in a lot of ways. And you are providing an amazing service in that relationship by just existing. The fact that you are coupled up is something that people generally, not everybody, but generally strive to achieve in their lives. Another thing I always think about is, like, I take on tasks at home that my husband would never think of doing. Like, I repotted all the plants because they were kind of like outgrowing all of their pots.
Yeah.
Is one thing I did. We really like having these plants, whatever. He never would have thought to do that.
Right.
Ever in like a billion years. Like, if I moved out, I could come back in 20 years. Those plants would, of course, all be dead. But that's a way that that I know I'm contributing that he would never think to do. Or like, I make healthy meals for us. Like, he would never be able to do that. I, walk the dogs when he's not able to, or whatever. I take on, a lot of dog walking responsibilities. I'm the only one that folds laundry at home. So regardless of like who's who in the relationship, you are doing things that your partner wouldn't. And so you're filling deficits that you might not even realize in your relationship. And that's worth a lot to both of you because you're cultivating a life together. And, people love to say, like, that women are like gold diggers and I don't subscribe to any of that, because you're in a partnership. You are supposed to depend upon each other in certain ways.
I mean, I think that there are people who look for certain situations that are different than others.
But those guys want the type of partner who would look for that type of woman.
But like, that wasn't our situation this was not our situation when we first met.
Well, for like a lot of people,
like over the years, he has just become much more specialized and has had jobs where his specialty was in much higher demand, and the reality is I was a social worker, so I was never, ever, ever going to make anywhere close to what his specialty was going to make. So it didn't matter whether I got sick or not. If I stayed in social work, I would never have ever been equal to him anyway.
But the truth is, let's say he didn't get specialized and, struggled to make it, you would still have been with him.
Oh, yeah.
So just knowing that you share that unconditional love,
we would have been eating ramen together.
Right. Exactly. Knowing that is huge for both of you.
Yeah.
That, no matter what happens in your relationship, that you're going to have each other's back like that is unbelievable.
And I already wear thrift clothes, so it's not like I already wear thrifted clothes. So, I mean, we're already in a good spot. Well, thank you. Thrifted.
I guess I can't really. I worked at Lululemon when I bought this 5 years ago.
That's cute. Yeah, that's Lululemon.
But 40% off because I worked there at the time.
That's just a bargain.
But people think that if you depend upon somebody else, that suddenly you're codependent. That's a complete myth. They talk about it in this book, Attached. Attached is a great book. I don't know who wrote it, but it's a fabulous book about relationships and how we really do thrive off of being in a relationship, whether you make a lot of money or don't make a lot of money or
do you believe in those love languages?
Oh yeah.
Like that, because I think like Erin's love language is caring for me.
Acts
like
of
being
service?
a care. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, because that's, because I'm always like, I'm sick, I can't, I'm not working full time and blah. He's like, will you just stop it?
It's probably like words of affirmation, right? Because every woman needs to be affirmed.
Right.
Yeah. And acts of service, that he actually like does things for you when you maybe can't get out of bed or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And how lucky that matches what you need.
Right. Because God forbid he would be anything else, because we would be in trouble.
I mean, if his only love language was like gifts.
Well, I would like that.
Of course.
But that wouldn't help me on the days where I have a migraine and I need a shot in my ass.
Right. Does that happen? He has to. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, good for him that he can be a nurse like that. That's fabulous.
Well, his mother was a nurse, so.
Oh. Well, that says a lot. He's probably very caring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My love language is words of affirmation. That is not typically how my husband shows love, but we're working on it.
My dog's trying to break into our room.
Yeah, that's okay.
What else do we got?
His is physical touch. Your dog's. That's his.
His is stealing your food off your plate.
What are the other ones? Quality time.
I don't know. Isn't one intimacy or something?
Physical touch.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, Winston's is molesting you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I don't think that's quite a love language, but physical touch, definitely.
And Louisa's, I don't know, snoring with his tongue out.
Baby.
You guys don't have any questions? I don't think I've ever done a video. Is it? Like, go to live. Oh my gosh.
I knew it.
Holy crap. Okay. All right, here we go. We had the wrong thing on. Oh my gosh. All right.
Top chat. That didn't have any
top chat. Didn't have anything. All right. Now we're going to go through these. I'm going to let Winston in.
Oh my gosh.
And you're going to go through those.
First one was from Marcy. How do I stop being such a perfectionist with my business? So we talked about how failing is part of the process. So stage one is going to be that it's not going to be perfect, and you are going to need to find that balance between working all the time, which doesn't really serve anybody, and having a more balanced life, because that is what really I think the goal is.
Oh
baby.
For perfectionist for me was that I was constantly like nitpicking my reselling stuff, and it took me forever to take pictures. It took me forever to do shipping. It took me forever to list everything, and it was such a time suck. It just sucked the time. It just sucked.
Yeah.
And so it literally sucked. Oh, hi.
Well,
so
you got to prioritize. Like,
I had to
what is the most,
you're fine.
You know, the most important thing versus like what is going to bring in the dollars versus what just feels good to me. And maybe, you know, maybe those things are one and the same. Maybe they're not. Is there an app suggested for meditation, specifically for actualizing your intent or manifesting? So I love the app Headspace. You can always,
the one that I use.
Calm is great too.
Yeah.
You can turn any meditation into a manifesting meditation if you meditate on certain, you know, questions or certain things that, you know, you want from the universe. So I think it's easy to manifest if you're, I mean, I don't know. I haven't had like a super ton of success with like manifesting, but I think you have to manifest.
What does
for
that
the right
mean?
things. So it's like asking the universe. Like I had a friend who, the same one, having a baby, she wanted a girl. So she tried to manifest a girl by always referring to the child as she or her. And it didn't work in the way that she wanted a girl. She had a boy, but the boy was exactly what she needed and actually made their family so much better. So you get what you need. Not always what you want.
Is that when I like think about something and then
like I want $1 million? I want $1 million.
Well, no, and then like Facebook ads pop up, but I didn't even say it out loud.
Sometimes sometimes
that's
Facebook
terrifying.
Knows you better than you know yourself.
That's scary.
Yeah. I had to not tell family I was doing just because they always have negative. Oh yeah, people are gonna put you down for sure. People are going to be not supportive. And you know what? Those people are just kind of testing your confidence in yourself, and just look at it like, oh, I'm going to conquer this test. This is part of impediments that come my way, and that's okay. And I'm just going to, you know, use this as an opportunity to overcome.
You get a lot of that in the reselling business because people are like, oh, you're selling garbage, or you're selling like people's used stuff. Like there's a whole lot of judgments and sort of negativity that comes along with, for some reason. It's come a long way, but for some reason there's a lot of it
yeah, I always see that with people that sell MLM stuff for sure. And the bottom line is that these businesses absolutely do help women and their families, and those people that are naysayers, they're not writing your paycheck.
Right.
So why are we listening to their opinion?
I don't know.
I own a corporate catering company. This is Deborah West, with my husband for 25 years. Started on Poshmark and eBay, but it seems complicated. I want to be a full-time seller. Husband is very supportive. Okay, so enlist your husband to help. He can build shelves, or he can, I don't know, help you source, or he can do all kinds of stuff. Two heads are better than one. Just because it's complicated doesn't mean that you can't figure it out.
I'm going to start doing some eBay videos because it is kind of complicated.
But it doesn't mean that they can't figure it out.
No,
just
I know.
Like you did.
I know, but I've been doing it for 15 years. It was a lot easier a long time ago.
Well, the fact that you and people like you are helping other people,
no, you're right,
means that there are a lot of resources out there.
Right.
And aren't you lucky that we live in the age of YouTube, where literally you can look up all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I really hate that when people are like, I want to da-da-da-da-da, but I'm not that type of girl, and I can't figure it out.
eBay has turned into a big PIA. PETA. No, I mean PETA. Pain in the ass.
We are a mother-daughter. Okay. Never tell your kids that they can't. Always encourage them. I have 4 grown sons. Oh, that's great.
That's awesome.
The most frustrating part of Poshmark is how slow it can get. Yep.
Poshmark is an active selling site. The more active you are on the site, the more you are seen, the more they love you, the more you sell. So even though it's tedious to sell all the time, to be on there, to share your stuff, to share other people's stuff, to buy stuff, to sell stuff. That's what they like. And they reward you by your stuff being seen more. And then your stuff gets sold more. So that's, unfortunately, if you want to sell on there, you have to play by their rules. And that's the way that it would work. So,
and well, we're not encouraging you to work 24/7 all the time.
But it's not, I mean, the sharing,
can't just not do it.
I share like while I'm watching Bravo. I mean, I share while I'm like on the toilet. I mean, we all know we're not reading shampoo bottles anymore on the toilet.
That's true.
So we all have our phones with us.
Mm-hmm.
I share like in the car, not while I'm driving, but like if we're driving somewhere or going somewhere. I try to do it like when I'm mindlessly doing stuff. So.
Yeah. I mean, who isn't watching TV while scrolling on their phone? That's kind of a common thing.
I mean, how many times have we talked about Instagram on this video?
Yeah.
10.
Yeah. I'm not even on Instagram, but I mean, I have a Bluebird account, but I don't really, I do Facebook. I'm a Facebook girl. Not that I couldn't figure it out because I could. I'm learning how to do social media. How do we realize this?
If I made a $500, $500 would be great.
Yeah. Heck yeah. I mean, think about like you can go on like a really nice vacation for, not, I don't know, maybe a couple grand. Like what you make in a year could end up at like a week at the beach.
Yeah, but $500 is a lot of money for some people.
I agree.
I mean, for anyone, really.
No, I agree. I try to think of like how many massages could that buy? Not that I'm getting massages every.
Well, no, but for me, like I started doing Rover. I told you.
Yeah.
So it pays for my migraine massages that my stupid insurance won't cover. Jerks. Oh, we got a thumbs up. Love this chat. Oh, that's so nice, Gretchen. Thank you. That's a great comment.
Just started using social media and it's hard for me. Yeah, social media is a pain. You can speak to this more, but I think that if you find out how to do one platform well, that is better than trying to do all the platforms like not as well.
What are we on?
Well, people are saying that social media is complicated.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting a few of those.
Yeah.
So
like Twitter is not even relevant for reselling, I don't think.
Yeah.
For reselling, I truly believe that, Facebook and Pinterest and Instagram are the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the younger generation, like 20s, probably Snapchat.
Mm-hmm.
I never really got into Snapchat, but like my sister who's in her early 30s has like a bajillion followers on there and could probably sell stuff on Snapchat. I don't know.
What about Pinterest? Ever do that?
No, yeah, Pinterest is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love Pinterest.
And actually I have a video on this channel on how to use Pinterest for Poshmark.
Oh, well that's nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
I love it. I don't do anything with it, but I
want it constantly.
I don't contribute to the Pinterest.
That's another thing I do on the toilet.
Wow. You should move your office in there.
I wonder if they have like toilet desks.
Like lap desks? I think
I'm sure they do.
Why don't you make one and then sell it?
What if I could contract with Squatty Potty and like do a Squatty Potty
with somehow
extension?
like a diva light attached to
the oh my god, that'd be genius. Oh
my goodness. Okay.
The new shipping, guys, it's 30 cents. It's a 30-cent shipping raise. I'm not mind
reintroducing yourself? Sure. I am Anne Beverly. I own Bluebird Counseling Center in McLean, Virginia, and I deliver counseling to mostly women working on empowerment issues, things like divorce and, I've lost myself to mommy land. I get that a lot. How to like reclaim yourself or find your voice or cultivate or reintroduce your voice. Vote your body back on the island, all that kind of stuff.
Really? I don't know what that means.
It's like women who just like have lost, I don't know, they don't even feel like they're within themselves anymore. They're like disassociating sometimes. So you have to like put them back inside their own bodies. Happens. Gretchen says, remember, everyone has their own idea of what is beautiful. New shipping. Rest is underrated. Oh my gosh, so much.
Is self-care.
So Rachel Hollis tells us to never rest. She's like, no, I had a meeting at QVC at 5 a.m, so I got up at 2 and flew to Pennsylvania, and I just need 10 espressos to keep myself awake. That's the message? Really? Okay. Anyway, no, I like Rachel Hollis, but I don't know, I have a lot of feelings about that. This is unattainable. Where is the balance? Yeah, exactly. Like, why does she care?
I love her, but I hate everything about her. I hate everything she says.
I hate that one thing. I think it's great that she's like, go after your dreams and get it done, and like, you know,
but really don't stop doing it.
Yeah,
ever.
That's the thing. She's like, I'm anti-balance. Is basically what I feel like she's telling me. That'd be great if Rachel Hollis was on here. She was like,
yeah, I doubt she's watching my channel. She's too busy running her conferences, writing basic books.
And I did watch Made for More. Like, I get it. I've tried to absorb the message.
What is it? What are you doing? Oof.
Flower shirt. Your eyes are just gorgeous.
Oh, thanks.
Says Devin.
Thanks, Devin.
Great. My phone is always on silent because the same eBay ding ding.
Oh, ding ding ding.
Yeah.
Are my parents thieves?
Oh, because you stole his heart or something? Great, Devin.
Cool. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Like the fear of bad emails, reviews, something going wrong. I have severe anxiety. Yeah, that's real, Christy. That anxiety, it's totally real. Oh yeah, look, because you stole my heart.
Yeah. I knew it.
Yeah, that same thing about like that's not your story. Like if you really aren't getting those bad emails and it's just kind of like an irrational fear.
See, look, someone just paid for something.
Great.
On eBay, and I just got a notification.
Did your heart stop?
No, because it was a payment.
Oh, okay. So just pretend everything's a
cha-ching.
Cha-ching, cha-ching. Have an awesome message. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Reselling increases it.
Yeah, the anxiety. Wow. I know I should always be doing something more. Okay, so there's this guy, Alfred Ellis, who says that we are shoulding all over ourselves. That's his term that he came up with.
Did you say shoulding?
Yes.
Oh.
Shoulding.
Okay.
I should be doing more.
Okay.
I'm shoulding all over myself because we always think we should be doing X, Y, and Z. And the truth of it is that only we get to decide what is really right for us.
That's
so
true.
If you are saying I should be doing my business, 18 hours every day, well, you're just shoulding on yourself because you're letting somebody else's expectation dictate. Right, Winston? Yes. Okay.
Winston's, what did you say his love language is?
Physical touch.
Uh-huh.
Probably acts of service too, because he likes walks.
No.
Headphones are a great idea. They are.
Yeah.
Gonna use the headphones next time I source. Good. All right. Good.
Do you have a side business?
No. For me, therapy is my one and only.
Did you have a side? If you ever had a side hustle?
Oh yes.
What were your side hustles?
Okay, so first I was a Beachbody coach for a long time, and I was on 2 different, teams for that. This is when I was in grad school, and I actually like the Beachbody products, and I like doing those challenge groups on Facebook. That's how I got to be really good at Facebook. The thing I do really like about multi-level marketing stuff, and that's really my only foray into a side hustle, is that I read a lot of books about business where I never had to read one business book in all of grad school. I have 3 master's degrees, and I had never read any business type books at all.
Really?
So no, because I was special ed, and then I taught special ed, and I did school administration, and then I did clinical mental health. So and even though a lot of people go through the mental health program and they do end up doing private practice businesses, they don't teach you any of the business stuff.
That's insane.
Yeah. So I kept getting these Amazon orders with all these business books for my MLM business. And my husband, who has an MBA, he was like, oh, I've read this. He's like, oh, this is a great, kind of like starter pack for getting like an MBA type thing. And I never got an MBA, so I don't have that. But you can still learn all that stuff through, there's so many books. Like I remember reading like Who Moved My Cheese and like What Color Is Your Parachute.
We have so many books downstairs.
Right. I mean, it's like insanity. Eat That Frog, I thought was really good. And all of these things, like nothing is wasted. So even though I didn't end up like staying with the MLM stuff, I thought it taught me so much about business. And when I went into my own business, I had a little bit of a foundation, which really helped me to be more successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, Devin, she is very married. So, yeah.
In Columbus.
Yeah.
I think they just opened a bins, a Goodwill bins by the airport. I have not been to them. But actually when I was in Columbus, I used to go over to, there's a group of thrift stores off of 315, kind of north of campus, like Henderson Road area. Just look up thrift stores like Henderson Road, 315. I'm blanking on what that area is called, but I used to go over there. There's like a Salvation Army and there's a TJ Maxx and there's some other stuff right over there. I used to go over there quite a bit.
So some people are saying they were kind of forced out of their career and into like a thrifting. That doesn't mean that you can't be successful or maybe there's a little bit of added pressure, but we've talked about how to kind of handle that perfectionistic demon, that's inside all of us. What happened? Oh, I get depressed if I'm not making sales.
Well, don't we all?
Yeah, that's.
Wait, did you scroll all the way down?
I think it was like here, and then it just like went.
Oh no, wait.
Sorry, guys. I know this is like boring. When
oh
people
my gosh.
do this on LuLaRoe videos, I'm like,
there's. All right. Okay, here we are. Wait. All right. This has literally no brand in it. I just thrifted it. I have no idea what it is.
And this is Lululemon from 6 years ago.
So. The wallpaper is giving you mental problems. Okay, sorry about that. Is my opinion worthy?
I mean, everybody's opinion is worthy, right?
Well,
sure. I mean, if society's telling you it's not, or your
as long as internal story, I feel like as long as you're not hurting other people,
sure,
right?
Everybody has the right to stand up for themselves.
I find it easier to sell on Posh. I'd rather sell on Posh and make money than have Instagram followers.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah, because the followers don't really get you anything.
Right, I know.
It's great to feel popular, but I'd rather have a paycheck.
Sure, Christy, I will put that on my list for doing that. Yes, eBay videos are on my list.
You're getting a lot of thank yous for all your thrifting help.
Let's see. I left my job to take care of my mom. Now that she is doing well, I'm ready to go back to work. I'm also thinking of selling on Poshmark. Do you feel you need to pay for ads?
For ads, like paying for ads. I've done that for my counseling business. I paid for a bunch of ads on Facebook. It got me 0 clients. You know what has gotten me clients though? And maybe this is different than thrifting, but word of mouth is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Word of mouth and having a really great website that is searchable within Google. That SEO, the optimization criteria, doing all those things. There's another Bluebird Counseling in Washington State. which is very confusing. So I'm Bluebird Counseling Center. So if you Google it here, I need it to come up versus the one in Washington State. So that was like a big thing. But anyway.
Well, at least your name's not Rebecca Black. And you don't have to share it with some girl who was the worst song ever on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Friday.
At least you can use it. Hey, we don't sing that song in this house. Today's Thursday, too, by the way.
It's almost Friday.
Get out of here with that song.
That's the only
it doesn't help that I look like her, okay? People thought I was her for a really long time.
I've never even seen her.
Oh. Well, we're not going to Google her right now.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, but after this,
people are asking if you have your own YouTube channel.
I don't. Maybe I should.
Maybe. You are more than welcome to be a guest on my channel anytime you'd like.
Thanks. This is my first YouTube video ever. I've done a bunch of live.
This is your first? You're doing great.
Thanks. I've done it on Facebook. All right. I kind of lost where we are.
Oh, now we're back to depressed if they're not making sales.
Oh, well, I think, again, that is part of the process. Don't take it personally. It's not your fault. It's not your, it doesn't say anything about you as a person. It just means that for right now, this is what's happening in your business. And it'll make you appreciate the times when you get a ton of sales.
And I think what I tend to do is if I go like a couple days without any sales, I go back and maybe I switch up some photos. Or I look at my titles and see if I need to redo them. I make sure to add new listings every week. So every day or every couple days, I add new listings. Poshmark loves new listings. So the more that you can add new listings, whether it's 2 or 3 or 4 a day, even if it's just a couple a day, you don't have to add 1,000. That will help bump your closet in the search results. So you want to make sure that your closet is as active as possible. So
that's true. If you have a brick and mortar business as well, if you have a blog or something that keeps you relevant, when I'm not seeing a lot of clients come in, I will, really up my game with either just changing my website in some way or adding to my blog, because that helps with the system optimization for Google. So more people can find me. I usually get at least one call for every blog post. There's somebody saying that she has like multiple levels of stress and anxiety because she's doing it full time, which is,
single mom.
I think that it's so normal to feel a lot of stress and anxiety in any business, that's just part of it, but that's also what's going to make you appreciate the good times. That's not my story. Yeah. You want that tattooed across your arm? That's not my story. Yeah. That is really, when I saw my friend do that in real life, like stop somebody mid-sentence and say this like 2-second little prayer to herself to help protect her child, it was so like, I don't know, jarring, but also like made it very concrete for me.
I would never have thought to do that.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah, because she was like, she's like, I keep getting all these messages of miscarriage. And she had a perfectly healthy delivery, beautiful baby boy. Okay. How to describe the product I'm not familiar with the style.
Google, man. Google. Even me, after all these years, I Google everything. Like, not everything. That's like a lie, but I Google a lot. Like I use Google a lot for almost.
Because you can't know everything.
No, I don't know everything. Yeah. And sometimes I just want to easily look up a style. I just Google it and I use,
Yeah, especially if it's like not your taste or not something you'd ever wear. You got to say something positive about it. So why not get a little info? Yeah.
Right. What book should resellers read? One of the books that I would recommend is Profit First.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a good one for therapists too.
Hold on one second.
What about Tribes?
What's that?
Oh, that's a good one. I forgot who wrote that.
Profit First by Michael Lewicks. But Profit First, you can get on Amazon. or you can listen to it on Audible, but it really shows you how to make sure that you are taking money out for yourself, you're taking money out for your business, and you are allotting money for taxes. You are spending your money the right way versus just kind of getting it in and then squandering it in different places. Because with reselling, it's so easy. And I fell into this habit when I first started doing it. I just kept buying inventory with everything that I made. And then I was like, well, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. I need to be paying myself. So I either bought inventory or I paid medical bills. And so I needed to figure out a system for how to do stuff. So now I do a little bit in one pot, a little bit in another pot, a little bit in this pot. So for me, I think Profit First was really important. And there's another book, which Anne will tell you about hers while I look up this other one.
Seth Godin.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, he wrote Tribes, and just kind of gives you insight on how to sort of cultivate your own tribe and sort of, and I read it a long time ago, but I felt like it was really instrumental at the time. But that same thing that Rebecca's talking about with paying yourself and then also putting money in different pots, I also have to do that because I have to pay my expenses. So I have to, like my rent and everything for my business. I pay myself, and then I also put some aside for like marketing expenses or ongoing like office supplies and things like that. It's really important to do math that's not based on fantasy, like really hard numbers. I think people love to sort of fudge things or somehow like kind of just twist the truth in, well, this is really profit because X, Y, and Z, or I don't know. They want to feel like more successful than they really are. I think it's really important to be super truthful with yourself about how much things are and maybe how little you might be making right now, but that doesn't mean that can't grow.
Right.
But if you're constantly like fudging your numbers in some way that just isn't accurate, that's going to be really detrimental to your business down the line because you're going to get in that habit of calling things profit that maybe isn't.
Well, especially if you want to grow and you want to eventually go full time.
Yeah.
I mean, to be able to get a loan or to be able to, get a lease for if you want to open space, you have to be able to show profit and income. And if you are constantly taking a loss on your business, or you're not doing your taxes properly, or you're not actually running your LLC or your corporation or whatever you're setting your business up as, you're not going to be able to do that if you're not setting up the proper steps now.
Yeah.
So being able to do that now as your business is a baby, it's much easier to take baby business and let it, take it up the stairs than to wait till you get to be a medium size, a teenager business, and then backtrack, figure it all out, and then try to go back up. It's really, and I am speaking from experience. I started a teenager business and it is a nightmare, just so you know. My other book is The Power of Habit. Oh, yeah. And it's by Charles Duhigg, Duhigg, but this is what the cover looks like. And it is really amazing at how to create new habits, positive habits, change your habits. I've recommended this on Instagram and had several people send me messages and say, hey, I'm really glad you recommended that. I've read it and it was beneficial. And actually I have it in my bedroom to read again. It's one of those books that is a good, refresher book. You know how some books you just kind of reread again?
Yeah.
So you can get a refresher. It's okay.
All of Malcolm Gladwell, I feel like I've read bunch of times, and I get something new out of every time because honestly I wasn't paying attention to some of it.
Yeah, having inventory all around the house in death piles is a huge so I have a confession. Before Anne got here today, I cleaned up my eBay room, and I'm actually glad she came over because I have been dreading picking up that room, and I just kept the door closed and I haven't been in there in 3 days.
And it's very neat and tidy. It is. I wouldn't know any other way. So,
and to be quite honest, it only took me an hour. So it's not like it took me 5 days to clean up in there. It's just something that I haven't wanted to do, and I've been putting it off. And I don't have that many things in there that I need to list. So it's not like I have huge death piles, but I will tell you when our house is Marie Kondo'd, is that her name?
Yeah.
When our house is Marie Kondo'd, and this is before Marie Kondo had a Netflix show, it is like this, my brain is so much clearer and I can think so much better that it makes that hour worth 1,000 hours of my brain power, because having that room clean just instantly puts me in a better mood. And so I am so grateful you came over today.
Anytime. I did nothing.
Because
I did nothing.
Isn't there a quote that's like, you don't clean your house fast? There's some quote that's like, you never clean your house faster than when you're expecting company, or something like that.
Yeah.
Something. And like, as soon as she walked in the door, she's like, your house is so clean. I'm
like,
well,
you had warned me that it wasn't. And I was like, what are you talking about?
I know.
I have an annual Halloween party, and that's part of the reason, is because I know that I will do the projects that I have been wanting to do all year, like taking out old nail holes and patching them and painting them and whatever. I do all that stuff. I do all that stuff before the Halloween party, because I know like my house is very much on display for almost everybody that we know, because we just invite, a ton of people. So I think that's,
but so even if you have a bunch of inventory, if you can have it even folded in bins or neatly piled somehow, like the ability to have it organized, at least in some kind of, some manner.
Yeah.
So if you have a bunch of inventory that you need to list, or you have something, you have a bunch of shoes, like just fold them up and put them in a bin. Like have them at least in some kind of, like, maybe put the pants in one bin, have the tops in another. So it's not just like thrown in piles in your room. And at least that way there's some sort of organization for you. And then that way you can have it organized.
Marie Kondo says to buy clear bins, so you know what's in them. Instead of like,
I have to use clear bins because I have to see what's in them to pull shipping. So.
Yeah. So just in case anybody's going to go out and buy bins today, Marie Kondo says clear is the way to go, which I think is great advice, because you get to the store,
unless your bins are gross, unless you have gross stuff in your bins, until you Marie Kondo your bins.
Well, I feel like when you get to the store, you're like, oh, purple, I love purple, let's get purple bins, but then you can't see what's inside them.
That's true.
You don't think about actually using them.
That's very true.
Oh gosh, I keep doing that. Hi, I got a doggy right here.
You scrolled all the way down again.
I did. Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Okay, there we go.
Is this it?
All right, yeah.
Oh, I just listed my first item on Posh.
Nice. Yeah, you need. So if you just are starting brand new, I would do like 5 a day.
Okay, I need to know just what I need to buy to start out without going broke.
Go to my website, bexabosslady.com. I have a reseller toolkit on there, and I have it broken down into the most basic necessities of what you need to start reselling. I have it. Then the middle is like, you start making a little bit of money. Here are things to upgrade your business. And then the bottom are like, now I'm going to really upgrade my business and I'm going to add these things. So
we have that exact thing for therapists. Like at a certain point, you have to add like a virtual assistant. Kind of stuff. Like it's a great little timeline. Would you recommend resellers to create their own website to sell, connect with people instead of simply relying on eBay, Poshmark to make sales?
No. It's costly. It's time consuming to manage. You have to have an unbelievable way of driving traffic to your website. PayPal is only so, there's only so much protection that you have on those sites for reselling, for your issues with customers. That's why I have a website. I have thousands of views on it every month, but I do not sell my stuff on. It's just not worth it. I don't want to deal with it. I mean, you theoretically, yes, you could do it, but having to manage that and that's the reason that you pay those websites, is because it gets you access to millions of viewers, like millions of buyers. So
I wish I had that for therapy.
I mean, I would rather pay them to have eyeballs on my stuff than try to figure it out on my own. So
yeah, I only have a site because I'm not actually a reseller. I have a different kind of business. So that's why it's important.
Yeah. I mean, I have a blog, but it's mostly to help. My blog is to mostly just to have other stuff on it. So
which is so lucky for the people that you help. Just compliments. So nice. Love your videos. Never stop. Okay, back to that's not my story. Apply that to when you Google your health problems. Try not to Google your health problem. Yeah, for real, right? Like
I need that for sure.
You can diagnose yourself with anything, but yeah, it's not my story. I love that. They're asking for the link to the book.
Yeah, I can add that. I'll put the links to the books in the description of this video.
Do you post on Poshmark using your phone or do you use it on laptop?
I use my desktop and I post on Poshmark and eBay at the same time because I think it's faster. So I upload my pictures from my phone to my computer and then I just drag them and drop them.
Okay. When should you register as a business? I am not making much right now. Have not been selling for a year yet.
I mean, really, you would need to talk to an accountant about that and determine what your, personal financial situation is, and then when you need to take that step and have write-offs and all that stuff. So that's an accountant is the best person to talk to about that kind of stuff. So find someone in your area, in your state that can help you with that.
Mm-hmm. For inventory, attach clothes pin numbered 1 through 100 or however many pieces you have, then number in description on eBay or Posh, then take the pin off when you ship and reuse the pins. That's my method. Former teacher. I'm also a former teacher, Wendy. Okay. If that works for you. Yeah, whatever.
Sure.
Whatever. I know like LuLaRoe people do that. What is your feeling regarding shipping discount when doing closet clear out? It's Poshmark promo and they are already getting a commission.
So when you do closet clear out, Poshmark pays for Poshmark pays for the closet clear out shipping discount. Yeah. When you do offer to likers, you pay for the shipping discount. So that's the difference in that.
Cool. I think that's it.
Is that it?
All right. Any other questions? We're
gonna wrap up here since we've been on here for about an hour and a half.
It's longer than I thought.
I know.
By a long shot.
I know. But this has worked out well.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. I'm super happy to,
I'm glad we got to do this.
Message of empowerment.
Definitely come back.
I would love to.
You are welcome back anytime.
Next time I might bring my babies. Nice wrap, hon.
Thanks.
Thanks, Yvette. How nice of you.
All right. Well, you want to wrap it up and tell everyone where they can find you?
Okay. So I'm at bluebirdcounselingcenter.com.
We'll put all that in the description of this video also.
My name is Ann Beverly. Thanks. Nice video. Oh, Louie. And we're going to go get the dog. Make sure he's okay.
All right. All right. Well, thanks for watching. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up.
And subscribe.
If you have any ideas for future videos with Ann,
sure.
Put them in the descriptions of the video or not in the comments. And we will try to put everything we listed in the description of this video. So thanks for watching and we'll see you next time. Bye.